Hi everyone, hope you're well. I'm back to stream the last couple of hours of Friday session. And see if there's anything exciting happening, but literally since I left, we had the sweep of the low. The market has not did a thing. Crazy. So for the last couple of hours, we have not moved. So let's see if we can do something exciting. We're in to shoot the breeze, see what's happening in the world. If anyone's got any questions, let me know. We're actually going to have a look at the open interest while we're here. Just check you guys can see this. Yes, you can. Fabulous. Okay, so let's have a look at the ES open interest just while we have a look and see. So yesterday the open interest was, just call it 19k to round up. Now we don't know if that's long or short, but the market has been super bid, so we can only assume that a lot of that is going to be long positions. Okay, and then for this June contract, we're plus 19k. Now let's have a look at NQ. NQ, I was checking this earlier. NQ's a little bit choppy with the open interest in terms of going back and forward, so it's still positive. Let's have a look at the Russell and the Dow. Just while the market's doing nothing, we'll have a look. Okay, so the Russell minus 3k open interest yesterday. And the Dow is plus 6, which is quite a lot for a Dow. So that gives you an idea, the whole point of open interest. I might do a separate video about this, but open interest essentially lets you know how many contracts for that day were basically not closed and carried over to the next day. Now, as you know, only large traders are doing this because majority of day traders do not have the margin to hold overnight. And we're all day trading. So it's a good number to watch. It doesn't by any means confirm anything, but it gives you an idea of how strong and how weak the trends are. So it shows you that this was yesterday's volume on Thursday. 2 million full contracts, of which only 18 carried over. So an interesting setup. Just if you guys don't look at that, you should probably check it. We'll go back now to the stream. But yeah, not exactly the most exciting market to be streaming, to be honest, guys. So you can use this time to the chat and see what's happening. Delta for the last 40 minutes has pretty much not done a single thing. The definition of barcoding, right? We'll have a look at the news. So we've got some Fed heads on. last thing that will potentially move the market in 30 minutes. Oh, good question. So, dark pools on the tape. So, my opinion on it is not really that prevalent in futures due to it all running through one exchange. We are seeing a bit of a sell-off now eventually. At the moment, I'm just going to mute this because it's in my ear, and while I'm talking it's a bit annoying. So dark pools was mainly done in equities and stocks. So at New York Stock Exchange and so on, they would be able to route to different exchanges. So they would be able to very, very quickly flash prices, get filled, and then route it to a different exchange in nanoseconds, for example. Something that a human trader would never be able to do. Now, the reason why the equity markets or futures markets are so liquid is because the exchanges incentivize big financial companies to in essence take the positions. So that's where the saying comes: there's for every buyer there's a seller, right? And for every seller there's a buyer. Um, these participants are called market makers. Now the problem is in the retail environment, market makers have got they've got a bad rep with their hunting stops and so on and so forth. That's just rubbish. They don't hunt stops. They're there to, like everyone else, to make money. And they're not just hedging or using futures. They may be having a position in the underlying, or they may have some option contracts, and then they'll be taking positions there, then hedging off their risk on futures. There is loads of ways of which they will be taking orders. Um, but it's like any market. The most common practice you'll see is when the market sweeps a level. So I had this drawn earlier, but we'll draw these again, right? We'll put this yellow line here and this yellow line here. Okay. Now, the very standard way, and this is where everyone gets caught out in trading, and it's so common. If you were trying to preempt the market, I mean, no one really knows right now. This is the thing. No one knows where this is going to go, right? There can be signs when it gets down here or gets up here, but at the moment in time, this has just been used to engineer liquidity. Look at all these contracts that have been traded, right? And yet nothing is happening. So they're just building in inventory, hedging off risk, closing positions, doing whatever is happening. But people that are buying in here with the assumption that this is going to, go back up and test the high of day, which I don't think is going to happen at the moment. People who have done that, their stop will be below this low. So typically before the market likes to break out, it will go down and typically sweep an area. And what do I mean by sweep an area? It will go down, drive price down, so people will sell into this. And then ultimately when it gets down here, all of the people that are selling need to buy, but then that provides large traders the volume in order to buy with large size, as an example. So if you had thousands of contracts to execute, right, and get off for your clients or for your own book, for your own, personal gain, or for your clients, imagine you're a big investment bank and you had a pension fund call and you say, right guys, we want to buy, I don't know, 50,000 S&P, for example, or ES futures. Okay, I'm gonna mute that a wee second. Imagine they said, right, you've got 50,000 contracts to buy. Okay, you're not just going to go right now and just bang in 50,000 contracts, because they would take out the whole book. You're going to wait for price, to go down a bit. You'll buy some, and that's just for your client that you have to get them filled. So you know yourself that you can say, right, if I get a better price for them, I'll maybe get some commission on it. So I can drive price down myself, and then ultimately get all the orders and liquidity down here for the client I need to execute for anyway, as an example. You know, it's just simply how the market works. And if you watch some interviews with hedge fund managers on like low cap stocks, they 100% would say, they get orders in from their clients to execute. Um, they take those orders, but then they've got their own book that they can manage at the same time. So they know that they can ultimately maybe cost them, a couple of million to bang price to a certain level, which means they can make money on the way and then execute the other contracts. So I think that's more prevalent in futures than it is going to be in than the dark pools algo side of things. Now, of course, algos are there all the time. It makes up such a large part of trading. Like this market right now, the only people that are making money in this is algos, to be honest, unless you're just preempting with a buy, for example, or a sell. You know. Well, what makes you ask about that? Are you just curious? I take it, do you trade stocks mainly? We'll clean up the tape a little bit here, make it easier to read. If you didn't watch the last stream, I'll explain what you're seeing here. So this is ES, this is NQ, this is the Russell, this is the Dow. So S&P, Nasdaq, Russell, and Dow. This is a market profile chart, or time price opportunity chart, whichever which way you look at it. This is a 5-minute Heikin-Ashi chart to try and remove some of the noise. We have standard deviation VWAP bands. We have delta here, and we have some support and resistance levels in here. This is initial balance high, initial balance mid, initial balance low. Initial balance low has been an absolute wall so far today. Normally when you break initial balance low, you're meant to have a trend day, which is not happening. The last chance for the market to do anything today is going to be the Fed talks in 15 minutes. So we'll see if there's anything exciting happening there. But feel free to ask any questions you would like. I was curious because I believe a large order fill may act as support resistance in dark pool or large orders. I don't think they're related to iceberg orders, but orders are really on a 2-week delay. I mean, so there's certain indicators that you can have. So it depends what you're looking for here, right? So I have an indicator here. Now let me adjust this. It's called large volume trade indicator, right? Now I can adjust this. This is currently aggregated. Okay. So if I show this and say, for example, you want to see, I don't know, 500 contracts executed in one clip. Okay. This shows you here now which positions have had 500 contracts executed in one clip. So the yellow bubble is selling, blue bubble is buying. Okay. I don't know if that's easier to look at. So that gives you an idea that the market went down, big buying in here. So the market goes up, you know, there's been tons of buying in here, some selling here, market goes down, you know. Gives you a rough idea if that's what you're into. I typically watch that on the DOM, so I don't really need to have it in the chart. I really like to have much larger positions shown, so if it's like 1,000 on ES, which is massive, but so you can see there's 1,000 here, and then there's been 1,000 here and 1,000 here. So we're starting to see a little bit of volume here. This has been the biggest candle. This has been the biggest candle now. I would say when these large orders are put in, they're normally revisited in a session, to be honest with you. So we're looking likely to break here. This has been the largest volume candle in ages. Trying to break out of this range. Looks like it's going to go. It's nice that NQ is also popping, and so is the Dow and Russell, which you need to have for when correlations are high. I'm just going to turn this back on. Yep. So you can see that then shows up there. 1,000 lot buying. So we can crack this. We should see a sweep in a second. Now that we've cracked this level, but the market has been super rotational, you know, so far today. General, this market should be cracking here, considering we've got some correlation ongoing, but it doesn't exactly seem the day where we're breaking levels, does it? The offer has been pulled. We've got, you know, 134, 140. It's continuous pulling, which is a sign that we're going to break as well. And the bid is stacked as well here. So this is a sign we should be popping, and we should see a stop run any second, to be honest, if we're to go up. But I'm done for the day, so I'm not taking any more positions. I'm just here to try and chillax and discuss. And there's been a lot of delta that just come into the market at the moment, so we should be going. Yeah, so they typically do act as mean reversion, to be honest. So what will be interesting is this large order here has not been revisited yet the session, you know, so the market's just dropped away from it. It's not come back and revisited. It would be interesting See if this theory comes out where when the market comes up here, it'll act as like a support and resistance. There's also some confluence with the support area, but we need to crack this level. And considering there is a Fed talk in 15 minutes, it's either going to go one of two ways. We're either going to break this and go up and test this level, or we're going to break down the lows, you know. But if we look at market profile, we have spent, you know, 1, 2, 3 hours down here, which is brutal. And it just shows you how much of a rotational day. In order for ES to pop, normally NQ goes first, but you've got the Russell ticking down and the Dow just floating about in the middle of the range. So we've just seen some size there come into NQ. And this is why, in my opinion, when you have days like this, right, when you have, so let me get my little cheeky rectangle. When you have days like this, right, buying breakout levels and selling breakout levels is just not advisable. You're always going to be better just, you know, waiting for the little stop run, selling into the middle of the range, buying the sweep, you know, down here. Because as I was saying before, the market goes down and sweeps here, then goes back up. We've just done the exact same here. We've been up, taken all of the shorts have now been stopped out here, which they become buyers. When you're a seller, you need to become a buyer. And then everyone that wanted to enter their shorts, as an example, got to enter their large shorts up here because someone needs to take the other side of their trade, and that was the people that were exiting, as an example. And then, you know, that's down like the 10, 12 ticks. And to be honest with you, 10, 12 ticks with size on the ES is enough. You know, if you're hitting that with like 3, 4 contracts, you're done. You know, that's you done for the day. Yeah, exactly. You're spot on. You're spot on. That's the main way. So, one of the key things that I would advise everyone to do first off before you take a position is to look at what kind of day are you in. You know, just because you think the market's going to go up or down, why would it go up or down now? Do you know what I mean? Like, and at the end of the day, we are retail traders. You know, we're not trading 50, 60 lots. So we can't move the market. So we need other traders to move the market at any time. So we know that breakouts fail, you know, 80% of the time, I would say, especially when the VIX is at, you know, it's like 14, 15 at the moment. There's not really any follow through with anything. There's not that much volatility. So unless the Fed heads come out here and say something, we're just going to barcode even more, you know. I would like to think that we're going to at least break out of these you know, this range, and typically it will be in power hour. So we'll break out here within the next few hours, and then because we've spent so long in here, whichever way it does break, it'll be pretty aggressive, to be honest with you, because you can't just sit in a you know, how many ticks is this range? Would help if I yeah, so it's about 40 tick range. So 10 points. And this is the POC here. What markets do you normally trade futures or? But yeah, I would say the large orders, man, do act as like a mean reversion, to be honest, to some degree, especially when they're not revisited, right? Because someone that puts in that size, someone else had to take the other side of the trade, right? I think Russell and YM are the ones that are probably leading here. We could see Russell hitting it's just that nearly low of day, but this is just complete barcode in ES. Of the first sweep in high volume, mean reversion, another sweep is manipulation to come back to the mean version and expand towards that direction. See, I don't think that the market needs to be manipulated, to be honest. It's just going to be it's just patterns, right? That's all algorithms are doing, is just scanning data, recognizing patterns all the time and going to feed the liquidity. That's all they're really doing. Um, but definitely this is my sort of classic trade, is the all of the white dashes are pre-market. A and B periods are the first hour of the regular trading hours. This is the first hour. The amount of times, if you go back and have a look at this in a chart, the amount of times that the market will sweep a low, sweep the overnight session low, or sweep the overnight session high, right, and then go back into the range, is very, very common, especially if overnight session is caught one way. The regular trading hours can literally just sweep that in one direction, because overnight session, the volume is so low. It doesn't take a lot to move people. And then that's where you get these, B and P shaped days where you're trying to determine, is it new business or old business, so just people liquidating or fresh positions coming in. I'm going to shorten this a little bit here. Okay, if this is the break, now is the opportunity, but again, Delta's not really, I've got a bit of a divergence here. Well, this has to go now, you would think. Let's get 10 minutes till this news comes out. Let's see what happens at the level here, to see if there's any absorption. So 116 absorbed here. It's not that much. You can see it was refreshed. Sellers are hitting into the bid here, 104 contracts. Price ticked down. Instantly ticked back up. There was 189 hit into there. 119 absorbed at the offer. So until the market takes at this level, this could be on for another sweep, for example. So we're absorbing again on the offer, and then we've just hit into that another 40-50 contracts. So there's a little bit of a battle going on here. We're going to need these other markets to pop up as well, because sellers are absorbing here at the minute. Yeah, stocks do tend to trend more, but then you've got a million different ones to look at every day. So we've had 237 absorbed, 222, 303 absorbed. So we've had the guts of 1,000 contracts here absorbed on the offer. So if the bid gets pulled and some sellers come in, shown by the delta here, we can see that buyers are not really that strong right now. In order to break this level, you would like to see a nice big push in delta to the, a green candle for the bid, which is not happening, and sellers are happily absorbing. So this doesn't really look like it's going to break out unless a big surge in delta comes in, which is probably going to be one of these markets that needs to happen, because you've got NQ doing the same as ES. So you could really take a really cheap trade here. You could short here, stop above here, couple of ticks, and then you could be targeting a really good risk to reward as an example. Because if this market gets taken here, everyone that's bought in this area is going to at least go back down to to this sort of range here, just as an example. There's a trade opportunity because the market's doing nothing at the minute. But would I take that? Probably not. Look at the amount of contracts that are absorbed in these four prices. Here we go, we're trying again. Now I've watched the Russell and the Dow, they're ticking up. We need NQ. If NQ ticks up here, then we'll likely see a bid and crack this level if we see this pump. It's trying. Here we go. There we go. Now let's see if there's going to be a break. Again, no real delta coming in. Jeez, oh, the volume sucks here. Yeah. Yeah, agreed. That's one thing about futures is the margin's nowhere near as much to day trade. Let's see if they can retry again. This is just a sign of low VIX. I mean, the market has cracked here once, twice, three times. This is the fourth time, and we've not seen any follow through. But to be honest, with the delta being like this, you should be expecting delta to blow through this level and be matching price. Now we're seeing sellers coming in now, so the fact that we've had all this buying up here, if it doesn't take out this level, then they're going to have to puke, to be honest. So good question. I have watched Bookmap, you know. Um, so what I use is I use Tick Strike. I use the DOM, as you can see. I use all of, I use the four DOMs for correlations, and then I use Market Profile for my overall context in the day, and then I use Delta as an idea for volume and buyers and sellers that are coming into the market, and then I look at, um, if prices have been absorbed or whatever. Now, when I've used Bookmap, I feel that the iceberg indicators and stop indicators are just a best guess. And if I watch the DOM and watch Bookmap, uh, I feel that I just don't really feel that it's that accurate, to be honest with you. I think the volume dots are. I think the volume dots are rubbish, to be honest with you. I don't think they're accurate at all. The iceberg indicator is probably the most viable one, um, and you need to tweak the thresholds massively for it. I've watched it in NQ and it's calling an iceberg when like 5 to 10 contracts or something's been executed, which is ridiculous. Right, this should hopefully be going. The news is just about to come. Well, it's coming out for a minute. Let me see what they're saying. Okay, chap from the Fed saying he's cautious about how restrictive monetary policy is. It's not going to make a bit of a difference, to be honest. It's not Powell talking, so these guys don't tend to rock the market that much. So the platform that I use is Sierra Charts. I think it has the best DOM. I like Jigsaw's DOM is good. It's more out of the box, to be honest with you. Sierra Chart is extremely powerful, but it's such a difficult platform to use. Well, not to use. It's easy to use once you get the hang of it, right? Like everything else in the world. Um, so if you want to use something like the tools I've got here, and they're not expensive. I think for my whole suite and full level 3 data, MBO data, I use Tick Strike. But if you're just to use this what you've got in front of you here, you'd probably cost you about, I don't know, $100 a month, to be honest. So it's not expensive to have it all set up, and I've got loads of guides on my YouTube channel on how to set these things up, and there's a lot of links for a free trial to this platform. And it's not one of the platforms where like you need to. I'm just going to mute this a second. Um, it's not one of the platforms you need to go and enter your card details and then they bill you after 2 weeks or anything. It's just not like that. Okay, so we'll wait and see how the market reacts. I'm hoping it gets up here for the sake of watching how the market performs when it gets up to this large sell imbalance up here. But my god, this is slow. So slow. What platform do you use to trade at the minute? And did you say you mainly trade stocks? Did I miss anything? Any excitement? Probably not. Hey man, sorry. So you're trying to understand the tape, but I'm trying to figure out how to transform the tape size of contracts with the quantity of buyers and sellers and price together with time. So you're trying to understand the tape. I'm trying to figure out how to transform the tape size of contracts with the quantity of buyers and sellers. So just so we're on the same page here, the tape or the orders executed, so the tape you're reading is market orders, right? These are resting orders. So this you see in the middle here at the left hand side are orders carried out at the bid, is known as selling, and at the right hand side here is orders carried out at the ask, which is buying. This is orders waiting to sell at the ask, and this is orders waiting to buy at the bid. So how this works right now is there's 96 here, 17 here. In order for us to go down, 100 needs to be taken out, you know. So we can see sellers are hitting into this, and then if these orders are pulled, then price will tick down if one or two contracts go through. So you can see right now sellers are aggressively hitting into the bid, but then orders are being pulled. So you can see that here. This pulling and stacking column shows the amount of orders that are being pulled, and this is updating every 50 milliseconds. So if you're looking to have this denoted on a chart in terms of bubbles, you could set the circles as a minimum size, so you're only looking to see the actual size that comes into the market that you're interested in, you know. Hopefully that makes sense. We can see the sellers are aggressively coming in at the minute and just pushing price down, and it's more so to be honest that it's just the bid has been pulled here. So basically buyers have just turned off the tap and pulling orders. Because for price to drop that much here, there's not that much delta that's come in, but this is such a slow day. We're still in this box. The seller's coming again, hitting. Thank you is the one that always tends to lead. If we crack initial balance low, then we're back in here again. NQ trying to push down. If this pushes down, then we'll see ES go back down to the POC here. I'm going to see if I can make these a teeny bit smaller here, so you can see these numbers a little bit better. Volume of price, minimum volume width, and we'll make that. There we go. So anyone who's watching, I'd appreciate if you can hit the like and subscribe button. It keeps me a little bit motivated to put this content out for you, to try and provide you some value. And ask all the questions that you have. Okay, so since the tape reveals the size of contracts like a bill of sale, I'm trying to ride with a big buyer or seller because quality beats quantity if I can see them on a footprint chart, identify it. Right, okay. I've got a nice footprint chart for you if you'd like. You can set the imbalances and you can have it all set up. So you can see the large numbers that come in. You can basically put this into a candlestick if that's what you're into. So there we go, there's the selling coming in because NQ dropped. We're now back to the POC. Now we will have more chop round about these prices. NQ is drilling at the minute. There we go. It would be great for sellers to see if this can just sweep this whole range. It would be nice. There's certainly some decent delta coming in at the minute. In the market as well, these work diagonally, right? So you can see that in order to go to the next price, buyers need to take that out, which they have. They need to take out another 57, which they have. You know, in order for this to tick down, they need to take out the next 53, 121, 157, you know, in order to tick down. Hopefully that makes sense as to what you're looking at. There we go, we're seeing a nice sell-off now. Someone down here's got 408 lots waiting. We'll see how long this sits in the tape, if this is just engineering liquidity or if it's actually real when price gets down here. Yeah, exactly. So when you're right, let me clear this, right? I wish I could slow this down, to be honest. So right now there's no contracts traded. There's one there, instantly 79 and 33 come in and hit and sold into the bid. So right. So currently right now 62 is buying. There's 133 sold, you know, when the price ticked down. and then there's 100 been bought that's been taken by the sellers, you know, and now they're selling in and taking more prices. So ultimately, if this is to go down, you would like to see sellers reloading, so continue to absorb what buyers are buying, right, over a few prices. And then you want to see the bid's been pulled here, you know, and sellers then continually selling into this, because this works diagonally. It's like blue team against red team, right? And the correlations work. So NQ is about to go down here. Well, it's not, it's went up. But you can see how that went up there and then instantly flashed down. So someone is willing to sell up here in NQ. But NQ is such a crazy market. I only trade really ES and use these for correlations, to be honest with you. Very rarely do I take something in NQ. So with ES, this is the state of play. You know, you've currently these orders are mainly done by algorithms at these prices. They're constantly loading and refreshing continuously. We can see there's a large sell that come in at these prices. But there's just no follow through in the market at the moment. The Russell seems to be wanting to go lower. So we'll clear this again so it's easier for you to see. So there we go. There's a 157 hits down to the next price. 84 absorbed. You know, then we tick back up. But this is now what you want to see for aggressive selling. You know, tons of selling in. The bid been pulled. This is now would be a chance, you know, to be entering for a break, as an example. You know, that's the type of flush and order flow you want to be seeing, and to top it off, NQ is dropping and the other markets are also dropping. You know, but it is a rotational day, so it's not like, you know, we're going to expect tons of follow through. I'm not saying you would take that every time, but that's the characteristics that you want to be seeing for you to confirm, say, a breakout. But not on a day when you're barcoding like this, you know. And I'll just extend my little box here because it looks like it's going to be staying in here, you know. So that's the type of tape reading that you want to be seeing, where orders are pulled, you know, and the sellers are aggressively hitting into the bid, or on the opposite side for buying. So we'll clear this again so you can see it. So we can see buyers are lifting the offer, and right now the offer has been pulled. You can see all of this pulling that's happening. So unless someone comes in at market and starts to hit, the offer is pretty weak here. It's also showing the same on NQ as well. Because that's the thing, you've got two ways that the market moves, right? You've got large size that moves the market, and you've got lack of liquidity. If someone wants to come in and hit 100 right now to buy, but there's only 85 there, it'll take out that level. And then when the price goes up to 104, if 50 pull and then 50 are executed, you'll go up another level, you know? It doesn't need to always just be size. Orders can be pulled as well, which allow price to tick up. And you can get to see that by the bid pulling and stacking, and ask pulling and stacking here. So you can see the bid has been stacked, you know, 300, whereas the offer has been pulled. So unless sellers come in with market orders to keep them stable here, this will go, you know. But again, we're just back in this range at the point of control and barcoding. So it's just a good time to explain what you're looking at. You know, not necessarily taking any trades from it, but the offer is appearing really weak right now, for example. But then, because we're in this balanced range, you know, people just getting off size. Yeah, exactly. Now, I wouldn't say there's an exact sequence to that, but very much in general, you can see that the Russell is pretty much in the middle of this range. It's at point of control. YM, or the Dow, is sold off a little bit more, you know, because the point of control is up here. You know, so they're all in a range. Now, typically to have a big breakout level, you need to have all of them, you know, hitting at the same time. So, for example, if NQ is the wackiest pair, you know, it's wild. Despite it being the same tick value as the Russell and the Dow, it's about 10 times more volatile than them, to be honest with you. You know, everyone trades NQ, but it's ridiculous. If you want something nice and safe and you want to trade equities, I would go with the S&P. So much thinner, easier order book to read, you know, so on. But you're right in what you're saying. What you've just said there is correlations. That's a massive part in order flow, absolutely massive part. You know, if you've got, for example, ES, I'm just, you know, this example is just to explain the concept. So you've got ES in the middle of the range, but NQ is hitting the highs, and then you've got Russell and the Dow in the middle of a range. What is the chances that NQ is going to continue going bid? You know, it's probably just going to reverse and go back into the range. So you need to know where all these markets are and what size is going on in order for that to happen. You know, so you're right in your thoughts that, you know, there's not exactly a sequence to it, but I would say from my experience that the more volatile ones are the ones that tend to go first, just because they're less liquid and it's less size to move them. ES tends to be one of the last ones, to be honest. And then normally, if ES does go first, you know, then you know that you're going to get some movement in the more volatile ones. To be honest with you, you know. So this is why I have these charts up for correlations. You know. But then I would advise you, when you're in this range, you need to learn a skill to just sit in your hands, because there's no edge here. Like, there is no edge in this, you know. In this box, there is no edge. The edge is going to be that. Well, the edge was the market swept here and then sold back. So here, right? The edge was up here when you got to fade that. Right now, there is no edge. The next edge to be had, if anything, if the market does anything, which it will in the next hour or so, it can't just sit in this range all day. It's brutal trading. Is we're either going to break down here and finish in this box. Let me zoom out. Oh, too much. So I drew this box at the start of the session because this is roughly the weekly uh, value area. Just by this is so this is Monday, this is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and this is today. Okay. So this is where the market's done the most volume and spent the most time. So my rough setup was, once we basically had a false breakout to the high, market dumped off. We've been using and consolidating this area. The most likely, if we breach these lows, then we're going to go back down and just end the weekend here, pretty much for a nothing burger week, right? And then if we do break these levels up here, then the most obvious level that this is going to challenge is up here. But we're going to need quite a lot in order to get price to there, to be honest with you. So I mean, look at the amount of contracts that have been traded at this POC. So there we go. NQ's trying to bid, and then you see a tick up in ES at the same time, and then you see NQ then drop back down. If this drops back down, then we likely see this go back to the POC. You know, and then RTY or Russell is just at the POC again. Yeah, exactly. Gold is just a massive range. You know, it was ranging for like 10 years. Loads of short-term intraday trends. The only reason I find it quite difficult to trade commodities, if I'm honest with you, is just the order flow is kind of like it's kind of like NQ. You know, if you watch the tape on the likes of gold, you know, there's just constantly 40 bids, you know, 40 offered all the time. So we're seeing no real delta here, but the offer being pulled. But what do you think of the setup? Is it easy enough to read, or is it too many numbers? What do you think looking at this setup? Does it make sense? If you get any questions about it, I can clarify for you. I never trade coffee and corn. I drink enough coffee, to be honest with you. I love coffee. I've got a really nice espresso machine, like a barista style one. But no, I don't trade. I don't really mess with commodities that often. I dabble in oil and gold, but in terms of, you know, an occasional trade treasuries, but never coffee and corn or wheat or anything, or orange juice or anything along those lines. Have you traded them? What's your thoughts? Setup's the best. Okay, nice. I'm glad you think so. What makes you say that? Is it just, can you understand it? You know, does it, have you got any questions about it? This is interesting. Negative delta here, right? But the price is going up. So this is interesting. When you see this, this essentially is meaning that the bid is absorbing everything. Let's flip down to a 1 minute chart. Do we see if there's anything? Yeah. So here you can see that sellers are selling into the bid, right? And it's not moving. So this means that buyers are willing to absorb all the selling. So now this has got the characteristics. If buyers now come in with some aggression after that behavior, then the next target is going to be here, and we'll see what happens. Let's clear these so we can. Come on, can we get some action so we can see some volume here and discuss it, you know, rather than this barcode stuff. Oh, I really like cinnamon. Not really in my coffee, to be honest. I need to try that. I love cinnamon, to be honest. It's one of my favourites. I really like cinnamon candles, believe it or not. I like the smell of cinnamon. Okay, so look how stacked the bid is here. Over these 10 prices, we've got 600 contracts added to the bid. We've got delta is a little bit on the weak side, you know, which basically means that the sellers are the ones that are selling and buyers are basically saying, hey, I'm happy. I'm happy to take your selling right now. So what this means, if the price continues to go up when that's happening, when buyers do decide to start throwing in and slinging in some size at the offer, this will pop, because then you have the offer being pulled and some size coming in, and this will break. So this is the exact behavior you want to be seeing of a breakout. So much so that I'm actually tempted to buy this, but I'm not going to, because I said earlier that I wouldn't. I've had a really good day trading today, so. But this is the exact behavior. So we're seeing some more aggression now. If the offer gets pulled, NQ is rising, as you can see. So if this is pulled here, then we should see this pop. NQ is the one it needs to go if it can lead. Go. Push. Push. Nope. Oh. We need these to go, but this is looking really strong, and then we have a tick down. See, when the market is volatile and they've got some volatility, this would be a great trade. You know, but yeah. He's out NQ literally does prices over like four prices, you know. It's so much more volatile. I struggle to read that. Okay, I got in a secret. The outside bar on a 3 minute acts as support resistance is likely the best sign if there are no other outside bars on the opposite side they bounce. When they reach the outside bar, check it for yourself. Okay, I'll screenshot that and have a look at it. But yeah, we're now seeing this been swept. If we can punch through here, let's see what happens with the DOM. Be great as an example if we can see. We want to see a sweep through this level here. But NQ, everything's going, so we're seeing Dow, Russell. We need NQ to get back up to this level here. It's selling off sadly. But the correlations are truly what makes the market move, to be honest. But in a normal day, if it wasn't barcode, you know, this would have already went, to be honest. What shocking price action this is. Oh. Hi ho, hi ho. It's off to the POC we go. God. I would love to see other channels that are actively saying that there's edge in this, to be honest with you. Sellers are trying to maneuver. But we need to break through the POC again, which is going to be unlikely considering there's been 18,000 contracts traded here. So if anyone is watching and have not yet liked the stream, if you could, and also if you can subscribe, that would be fantastic too. Press the little subscribe button. If you want to learn more in depth about how to read these charts, or if you want any of these chart books, in some of the videos, if you watch them, there is links to the Discord. And when you join the Discord, I can help you out with some chart books. There's also a link to Sierra's trial here. I've posted it in the comments. It's in the description of the videos. Okay, let's see if we can pop here. Surely this time, but then again, there's no delta as usual. Man, truly garbage price action. Certainly concerning though for sellers at the moment, considering there's so much negative delta to move price here, and yet buyers are absorbing. You know, they just need to step on the gas a little bit here to push price through. But again, there's not exactly anything exciting happening. So do you say to look at the 3 minute? The 3 minute. Let me have a look. Okay. What am I looking at here? The outside bar. So what are you saying? Run about here? So where it bounced? This is very weird price action. The fact that we're just at the highs and delta's at the lows, so we've got a divergence, which means there's absorption going on. on the bid. All characteristics of a breakout, but then because the market's not really doing anything, I wouldn't really call anything out. So shocking price action. If we manage to finish this session without breaking this level, I'm going to be amazed. Even in the likes of power hour, there's normally got to be some movement like now. There we go, surely now. And watch the sweep. There's going to be a sweep. Oh god, it's done it again. This market, honestly. Oh, and now we're aggressively hitting. Right, can we see maybe the lows be taken now? Or are we just going to go back to the POC for the 15th time? But now we're seeing some aggressive movement come in. It's actually been in the sell side all day today. Anytime prices went up, it's been more with the offer being pulled, whereas this is extremely strong at the minute with everything being stacked. And all equities are down. Look, you know, we've got the Dow, Russell, NQ. But NQ, as I've already said, that when it tends to pull off, everything else does. You can see that they all move in tandem with each other. And when NQ rips off here, so does the ZS. So they're extremely correlated. There we go. NQ to NQ. If NQ can go, I mean, you've got Russell here. It's literally just sitting at the low of this push, and the same with the Dow. Everything's waiting on NQ. Seems to be the mover of today for some reason. Yeah. NQ today is definitely leading this market. If you just watch here, everything else is stagnant until NQ is moving. And then everything else just ticks up. So this doesn't happen every day, but it's happening today. Where NQ is leading the way. Yeah, exactly. I'm with you. You know, this is the thing, is these flushes, they should be a little bit more aggressive. You know, they're like 4 ticks on ES at the moment. It's nothing, you know. Right, with this behavior now that we've sold off aggressively, buyers have held that price, and now we're back up at the breakout point. If buyers do come in here with this delta point here, we can see that we're flat on delta here. If buyers come in here and we do see some really positive delta, this is going to crack, and then we're going to see all of these sellers that jumped in are going to have to puke. So now would be the chance for the breakout because of that behaviour and the nice little wick that it's showing. And the fact that we're just literally on power hour, last couple hours of the market would be the time that this would break out, to be honest. NQ's going. This is looking really strong right now. Surely this time. Needs to crack. NQ's out again. Yes, it's trying. If this is pulled, we need these next two prices to be pulled, then we'll flush. We should always see a 4 or 5 tick flush here, surely. Up to like here. Jeez. Trying again. We're waiting on NQ to do something. It's not doing anything, so there we are, back down again. God. I know I've said this a million times, but this is... These market conditions are not it. You know, this is just complete and utter barcode right now. No follow through, continuous sweeps. I mean, and there would be some people that would say that this is making higher highs or whatever, but no. Then another sweep, literally swept by the tick back. Again, done by NQ. We needed NQ to smash through this region up here, then of which we would have saw some stops triggered on ES, and we would have got a little bit of a push and then created some more liquidity buying. But another rotational sweep back to the POC for the 15th time today. So, as a word of warning, when you are trading, you know, if you are going to be executing on this, you need to just use wider stops. Here it looks like we're going to do it now. It's not really due to any delta either. Yeah. There's just tons of orders being pulled constantly, you know. And just zero follow through. These types of market conditions, no one should really be trading. I just don't know how anyone's getting any edge in here. I'd imagine a majority of people just lose money trading this. So it's like bar on the other side and letting it go. Yeah. No, exactly. Exactly. But the correlation is so strong here. Now we're going back down to the POC as well again. Hmm. Are you in any positions at the moment? Or taking any positions or whatever? Oh, I'm sorry, it's not as if I can provide you anything juicy with the markets when they're like this, to be honest with you. And this is where volume is everything, to be honest with you. It's the key. You know, we're not seeing any real volume come into the market at the moment. We're sitting in negative 10k delta today. I mean, look at the size of the candles. Nothing happening. We've hit this level once, twice, 3 times, 4, 5, 6 times, and we still couldn't crack it. Just around the IBL low. We're seeing a little bit of delta come in now, comparative, but it's just been... Whatever way this does go, we're going to see a little bit of an explosion. Short, nice. If I was to take a position, it would be short, considering we've got the Russell here. We just need NQ pump or dump, sorry, here, and then ES will drive down. We are seeing some negative delta flowing in, so if NQ hits the bid here, which is looking like it, then this is going to drop, and it's there we go. We're starting to see a little bit more size come in. What are you short, ES or NQ? Or what market are you short, ES? We need NQ to move. If NQ goes down, your short's going to work, but it's not looking great when YM is ticking up. To be honest, just be careful of that. YM seems to be uncorrelated sometimes, but it's always nicer when they're all moving, to be honest. But in order for us to completely dump down, it would be, you would like to see YM, Russell and NQ. So it would not be great that that's upticking right now. And we're seeing some buyers coming in the bid being pulled right now. Here we go, if this gets taken we're going to see a stop run. But NQ needs to pop and do its thing for this to move. The first one was YM to push there actually. But here we're stalling again. I feel like 500 contracts or something come in here. In one clip we'll take this out, but again more absorption on the offer. 400 taken, so 600 contracts just been absorbed in the offer in ES. And then NQ is now dropping. Where this could go now. And the sellers are aggressively coming in. This actually looks quite good for a short right now. I'm in as well. Right, we need this to... We're going to take her back down to POC. We need this to be fading here. We'll get out with a nice tight stop. If so, that's the bit I'm not loving it as soon as I'm in, but we need NQ to drop. I'm not liking the delta now. Instant regret as soon as I've got in this position. Let's see if we can get out for a couple of ticks, to be honest, because this should have went straight away with the behaviour. Of it. So we'll try and we're going to enter this, exit this manually, to be honest with you. Right, we're absorbing. But ultimately this is not good with NQ or YM. This trade's dust. Close. Small loss. This is exactly why I don't even know why I took that position, to be honest with you. You'd think it would be going down one time, you know. Yeah, I'm not liking this at all, to be honest with you. I'm not liking how the delta is negative, yet the price is not moving. It should be dropping much quicker because basically buyers are absorbing all the selling, and if they start feathering into the offer, then price will break the highs. It's just a coin toss, to be honest, at the moment. Right, let's think this is going to go surely now. YM's ticking the high. NQ is about to pop. Let's go now, surely. Are we going to honestly do this again? Are we going to sweep for the 15,000 time? Yes, we are. Nice. Some size and still no sweep. NQ's going. See if we can take 15 out of this. This should be going a little bit more. Come on. I'm not wanting us to sweep at all, honestly. Look how lack of follow through these markets have, honestly. This is now shocking. Did you get stopped there? Look at these markets, honestly, we're now back again for a one tick, you know. This should be going, you know, honestly, don't know why these markets are we even bother at these times, seriously. Swept for the 15th time, still in the box, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, I think this is likely going to break, but I'm just not prepared for, you know, I bought this, went 4 ticks, reversed back. I'm just not prepared to watch this go back into the range, you know. The target would ultimately be, you know, around about this area, but the market's so rotational, I shouldn't have even bothered taking the position, to be honest with you. So, very small loss, we took like 4 ticks or something. I mean, so anyways, man, I'm gonna, there we go, we're going now, would do. Let's see, yes, it's just not going, surely this is gonna go. No. Right, I think I'm gonna head off, to be honest, because this is so painful to watch. Make sure and check out some of our videos if you can, buddy. I'll be posting something over the weekend. But it was good chatting. Hopefully you come to some future streams and we can chillax and look at order flow. Hopefully in nicer market conditions, because this is shit.